J.J. Davies, played by Bugsy Malone, a reliable operative who excels in combat and logistics. Together, this team will need to stop the weapon from being sold, but Guy Ritchie adds a comedic twist to the story. We are then introduced to Greg Simmonds, a billionaire arms dealer played by Hugh Grant. Unlike your typical villain, Greg is charming, flamboyant, and obsessed with Hollywood culture. He doesn't just buy and sell weapons, he enjoys the glamour, the power, and the spotlight. He's the kind of antagonist who makes you laugh while still making you nervous. He's clever enough to cover his tracks and ruthless enough to eliminate anyone who threatens his empire. And it seems Greg Simmonds is the key player in brokering the sale of this dangerous stolen device. To infiltrate Greg Simmonds' circle, Fortune's team comes up with an unconventional strategy. Instead of sneaking into his world the old-fashioned way, they decide to use his obsession with Hollywood against him. Greg idolizes a famous movie star named Danny Francesco, played by Josh Hartnett. So, the plan is simple but hilarious. Recruit Danny Francesco and bring him undercover into Greg's world as a friend, all while secretly spying on Greg's dealings. This move combines spy action with comedy, as the team has to convince a clueless Hollywood actor to become part of a real espionage mission. At this stage, the film begins to mix suspense with humor. Danny Francesco is terrified when he learns that he's being asked to work with real spies, but he's also flattered by the attention. Orson Fortune, meanwhile, doesn't have the patience for Danny's Hollywood drama, which creates some hilarious exchanges between them. Sarah Fidel steps in as the smooth talker, calming Danny down and convincing him that he's safe as long as he follows their lead. The first 20 minutes set the stage perfectly, a stolen weapon that could cause J.J. Davies, played by Bugsy Malone, a reliable operative who excels in combat and logistics. As the story moves forward, we see how Nathan Jasmine and Orson Fortune approach the Hollywood superstar Danny Francesco. At first, Danny thinks this is some kind of elaborate prank or a crazy method acting exercise. But soon, he realizes it's real. He's being recruited into an international espionage mission. Danny is completely out of his comfort zone. He's used to playing heroes on the big screen, but this time, he has to act like one in real life. His nervousness adds layers of comedy, while Fortune's cold impatience makes the scenes even funnier. Fortune treats Danny like a burden, while Sarah tries to reassure him, using her charm and wit. This dynamic begins to shape the heart of the movie, serious spies forced to babysit an insecure movie star. The training and preparation. Before meeting Greg Simmonds, the team has to prepare Danny for his undercover role. Sarah works with him on confidence and improvisation, reminding him that his job is to simply play himself, a famous actor, adored by Greg. Orson Fortune, on the other hand, drills Danny about staying focused, warning him that one slip could blow the mission. These training moments are both hilarious and tense. Danny keeps asking silly questions about stunt doubles and whether he'll get a trailer, while Fortune's patience wears thin. It's Guy Ritchie's way of mixing Hollywood satire into the spy genre. By the end of this sequence, Danny is still terrified, but just confident enough to walk into Greg's world. First contact with Greg Simmonds. The stage is set for one of the most entertaining parts of the movie. The team takes Danny Francesco to meet Greg Simmonds. Greg is thrilled. He can't believe his favorite movie star is standing in front of him. Hugh Grant's performance here shines, as Greg gushes over Danny like a fanboy while also maintaining his sinister, smooth-talking aura. Fortune, Sarah, and the team carefully watch from the sidelines, making sure Danny sticks to the plan. Once Danny is inside Greg's circle, the team begins to gather intelligence about the stolen device, the handle. Sarah uses her charm to subtly question Greg, while Fortune and JJ stay sharp, ready to intervene if anything goes wrong. At the same time, we see that Fortune has competition. Another group of mercenaries is also trying to get the device. This subplot adds tension. Fortune isn't the only one chasing the weapon. These rivals are dangerous and willing to use brutal force. The movie balances this tension with Danny's cluelessness, as he accidentally stumbles into situations he doesn't fully understand, yet somehow helps the mission without realizing it. As the evening with Greg continues, he starts to open up to Danny, showing him his lavish lifestyle, his private collections, and even hinting at his shady deals. Greg's admiration for Danny becomes the perfect cover for the team. At the same time, Orson Fortune uses his downtime to investigate further leads, tracing the black market connections surrounding the handle. Sarah and JJ provide backup, planting surveillance, and hacking into Greg's systems. The operation is working, but the tension is rising, as the rival group is also getting closer to the deal. The second act, around the 40-minute mark, has firmly established the comedy-action tone of the movie. Danny Francesco is now inside Greg Simmonds' world, the team is gathering clues, and the race for the handle is heating up. The balance of suspense, humor, and espionage keeps the audience hooked. By now, we're fully invested in this strange but brilliant plan, waiting to see how long Danny can keep up the act before things spiral out of control. Once Danny is inside Greg's circle, the team begins to gather intelligence about the stolen device, the handle. Sarah uses her charm to subtly question Greg, while Fortune and JJ stay sharp, ready to intervene if anything goes wrong. At the same time, we see that Fortune has competition. Now that Danny Francesco has earned Greg Simmonds' trust, the mission starts getting more dangerous. Behind Greg's charming smile, the team suspects he knows more than he lets on. Orson Fortune keeps pushing Danny to stay sharp, reminding him that one wrong word could get them all killed. Sarah Fidel, meanwhile, continues to play her part perfectly, weaving between humor and subtle manipulation to get information out of Greg's associates. The rival mercenaries. At this stage, the rival mercenary group comes into sharper focus. These operatives are ruthless and highly professional, clearly competing to grab the handle first. Their presence creates a ticking clock for Fortune's team. It's no longer just about fooling Greg, it's also about outsmarting and outpacing these dangerous rivals. This subplot adds a lot of suspense to the midsection of the film. Every time the team makes progress, they realize the mercenaries are just one step behind, or in some cases, one step ahead. Danny in over his head. One of the funniest yet most tense moments comes when Danny is invited to one of Greg's extravagant gatherings. Here, Danny has to blend in with arms dealers, shady billionaires, and high-ranking criminals. He struggles to stay cool, but Sarah supports him, feeding him lines through an earpiece. At one point, Danny nearly slips up by talking about one of his movie roles as if it were real spy work. Greg, amused, buys into it, laughing it off. Ironically, Danny's awkward Hollywood storytelling actually helps strengthen his cover. Orson, however, is less amused. He hates relying on chance, and Danny's improvisation only raises his blood pressure. Now that Danny Francesco has earned Greg Simmonds' trust, the mission starts getting more dangerous. Behind Greg's charming smile, the team suspects he knows more than he lets on. Orson Fortune keeps pushing Danny to stay sharp.
Backhanded X-pointing right, don't forget to like, comment your favorite scene, and subscribe for more full movie explanations.